Greetings and welcome to another video. As we received new methods and ways of how to upgrade our gear in the latest patch 6.35, let's talk about how to benefit from all the different gearing opportunities. However, unlike in my gear companion videos, this time we will only talk about gear you can receive from content below extreme trials, savage raids or ultimate encounters, so that you're well prepared to tackle these forms of content or not at all, by just chilling in your weekly alliance raid or duty roulette daily, but dealing tons of damage while doing so. I personally did test my non-savage best in slot gear on my summoner, and oh boy, this does some heavy DPS punch already. And I firmly believe that raid gear will not make up much of a difference thanks to the relic weapon and upgraded Lunar Envoy gear. In general, gearing is way less important in Final Fantasy XIV than in any other game, due to the lack of tier sets, trinkets and stuff like that. So as long as your item level is fairly up to date, you won't run into troublesome situations except for ultimates maybe. But like I said, even without in-depth theory crafting, you can get your character to perform very nicely. So let's start with gearing for casuals. First of all, before you think about anything else, you should hunt down your amazing Manderville relic weapon. Not only offering a whopping item level 630, but the secondary stats applied on it are maxed out. So even with suboptimal stat distributions, they are by far the best weapon you can get without doing savage content, which offers one slight upgrade. Above that, weapons should always be prioritized because they offer the same amounts of main stats like your chest or legs, but also weapon damage that scales your overall damage output way more than any other value in this game. Lunar Envoy weapons, which are received from tombstones, even when they can be upgraded on later patches, yes, you can already do so by doing savage, they fall short compared to the Manderville stuff. But as I have made several videos about relics recently, as well as the showcase video, please refer to the videos in the description about further info. Next, you should lead your gearing decisions from the highest possible item level to the lowest that makes sense. So the obvious choice besides the savage gear, which we're mainly avoiding, brings us to the Lunar Envoy stuff received from Elagan Tombstones of Causality. That gear goes hand in hand with savage gear to become each player's best in slot, so even those high-end optimization junkies will choose pieces here mixed up with gear from Abyss or Savage. However, as we're not taking Abyssos's gear into account, you could technically gear up all your stuff by using upgraded Lunar Envoy pieces. But I don't recommend taking that as a baseline because some jobs can have certain secondary stats that they should avoid. So here it really depends on the job you're playing, or if you want to equip multiple jobs decently. A red mage, for example, should mostly avoid spell speed, so just taking no second thought and grabbing all the Lunar Envoy pieces doesn't make sense. And I absolutely recommend to get all the pieces with critical hit, direct hit or determination on them, upgrade them via the Alliance raid coins or a sack of nuts, and then fill the other slots with augmented Renashida pieces or the Euphrosyne raid gear from the 24 people Alliance raid. In the red mage example, you want to get the necklace, one ring, the headpiece, legs and boots, and then choose between augmented Renashida gear or hypostatic pieces according to their stat distribution. The other alternative would be a black mage that can make use of basically all secondary stats whenever you reach certain thresholds. But because that is very complicated again, let's just say black mage can make use of the higher item levels the upgraded Lunar Envoy gear offers, compared to the 10 item level lower augmented Renashida or Alliance raid gear. So in this case, you cannot go wrong by just getting all the tombstone gear, upgrade that through the usual methods by exchanging the coins you receive after completing the Endwalker Alliance raids or by trading in Sack of Nuts in Old Sharlayan. Just remember that accessory pieces are less expensive on the Sack of Nut department than the upgrading material for left side gear, where the coins from Aglaia and Euphrosyne haven't got any differentiation in their costs, so choose them for left side gear first and Sack of Nuts for accessories, except you have enough of both. Which leads us to the conclusion. Weapon damage is always preferable over all other stats and naturally received from higher item levels. Afterwards, the main stats like strength, dexterity, mind or intelligence boost your overall damage and heal output. If you have more of these stats on your gear, the higher item level a certain piece is, so if you're able to utilize all secondary stats and benefit from each of them very evenly, like a black mage for example, you should simply go for the highest possible item level. However, a red mage and many other jobs can choose a slightly lower item level but with optimal stats to receive the same or even better results. That means, if you don't know how these secondary stats affect your job's power level, I highly recommend to visit something like the Balanced Discord, Ak Morning or Salted Final Fantasy XIV. Or for a very basic approach, check out my best stats for all jobs video in the description. So before all this remains an airy guess, the last step you should go for are the item level 620 options, like the Euphrosyne raid gear or the augmented Rinashida gear. The first received from participating in the recent Alliance raid Euphrosyne, where you can roll on items that every boss drop and which is recently locked to 1 item per week. So definitely check out consolegameswiki.com for a solid overview before you're just randomly rolling on items. My personal tip though, if you're like me and play multiple jobs, choose those items with good stats on them that also offer some solid glamour value, because mostly the difference between those pieces and the second option is not worth mentioning. Just make sure to run this raid every week because of the upgrading coin alone, that enables your gearing process in the first place. Alright, last but not least, there is the augmented Rinashida gear, which serves as a catch-up gear to all players that took breaks or that just reached level 90 recently. And while you still need tons of astronomy tomestones to receive the essential exchanging material Dharmic Rain, the other one, the Hennish certificates of grade 2 import, are received by trading in normal Rinashida gear that crafters are able to provide, or you can simply buy off the market board. Here the piece you choose doesn't have to be the same as the item you want, you just need the exchange value, where weapons offer the highest, big armor pieces the second highest, boots, helm and hands the third, and accessories the lowest value. Right now, if you're hunting down multiple relic weapons for many jobs, you probably should favor the other ways of getting gear, because of the massive astronomy tomestone grind that is required for both methods. Which brings us to the last part. What about pentamelted accessories? Yes, technically you can't pentamelt accessories and other gear pieces, but everything that is crafted offers that trait, so you can put in more materia than you normally could. In my personal experience, while mathematically they are weaker, they turn out to be on par with their augmented version, at least to an unnoticeable degree. So if you still have those equipped, only upgrade if you have something offering better secondary stats, or when you are able to get them to item level 630. And that's basically it. Don't bother going anywhere lower than the crafted Rinashida gear, because that is the threshold at which gear differences start to show. So if you're starting from scratch, just take whatever you can find on the market board or venture into the normal Abyssos raid for a solid baseline gear as well as the recent dungeon gear. But only do so if you struggle to find Rinashida gear for reasonable prices or you want the normal Abyssos gear for glamour reasons anyways. But whatever you do, if you care about some form of optimization, get that freaking relic weapon. Square hasn't made that gift for free for no reason, right? I hope this video can help you out in finding a gearing starting point, and if it can't, maybe those in the description will. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.